Hello, everyone. My name is Simon, EFA specialist. I work with Exeter Learners. In today's section, I'll be talking to us about one major issue um, that a lot of people get confused about, and that is it. Writing numbers, and here, this is the issue: to spell out or write in numeral. Now, what exactly does that mean? All right, take for example, sometimes when we're writing, though only few people actually pay attention to that, and that's because they do not have the awareness of the standards, do not have the awareness of the conventions, they do not have the awareness that there are actually guiding principles about numbers. So you don't just write numbers haphazardly. You need to learn whether you need to spell out the number or the number that's going to be written in numeral. Take for example, directions. Choose the option with the right usage. Three students were invited. All right, if you pay attention to option A and option B, three students were invited, three students were invited. All right, you can see we've actually expressed the same thing on the board. All right, we've said the same thing on the board. And then, of course, these are affirmative sentences, and we have our period. So we've actually done the right thing. Good spellings, good use of the, we paid adequate attention to capitalization. However, if you chose B, you'll be wrong. And that's because standard English does not permit us to start a sentence with a numeral. All right, so it's wrong to actually start a sentence with a numeral. If you want to start a sentence and you've got to use a number, all right, you will have to spell it out. All right, so that's what we've done here. And that is the reason why hopefully is right. And you may want to ask further, is this just applicable to three? Of course not. Numbers generally, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or we can talk about maybe 19, 20, 21, 30, 50, 100, right? Numbers generally, all right? So this is a basic guiding principle. If you are confused when there's about writing out a number or actually writing numeral, you can be guided by this law. Do not start a sentence with number. So you don't have to write a numeral. If that's the first thing you want to open your sentence with. All right. So you should write that in word. All right. So thank you. That's the first part of this lecture. Now the second part I would like us to pay attention to. Remember, we're still working on how to write numbers, and the major challenge is shall I spell it out or I've got to write it out? So this is the major challenge that's choose across the world because the global experience. And also, like I've mentioned, even professionals, including educators, when they write, sometimes they also find themselves, in this kind of confusion. All right, so let's look at the second example. The second example read Williams marked his third birthday last week. Williams marked his third birthday last week. All right. Now, options A and B are actually saying the same thing. Both of them express the same information. So we have the same meanings as far as A and B, I can say. But this is a big challenge. All right. So with your third here, all right, this is an ordinal. Then you have third here, this is a cardinal. Of course, in case you may need to look that, you may need to learn a little bit about them. Numbers can be classified into ordinals and cardinals. So this is an ordinal, this is a cardinal. All right. So maybe we're going to talk about that in another video, in another section, where we're able to talk to you about the guiding principles about the ordinal adjectives and the cardinal adjectives. But for the sake of today's class, and I would like to keep to the topic, we want to find out, is it correct to actually write text to spell it out or to write it in numeral? All right, so this is the answer. All right, so it's actually A. You need to spell it out. You don't have to write it in numeral. Now, what is it you need to learn about that? Start English says we should, when we're talking about birthday or anniversary, if you're talking about birthday or anniversary, you have to write in word. All right. When you're talking about birthday or you're talking about our anniversary, for example, maybe okay, I've been married for 4 years. I could say, okay, I marked my fourth. Okay, my wife and I might have fourth anniversary, might have fourth wedding anniversary last week. Okay, my wife and I might have wedding anniversary last week. All right, you can see that. Now, how do I write it there? All right, Am I gonna write it there in numeral, or I'm gonna spell it out? Evidently, you need to spell it out. Like I said, that is a convention. That is a standard. You need to spell it out if you're talking about birthday and you're talking about anniversary. Now, the last one I'd like to share with us in this short video. Do not forget we'll be talking about how to write numbers and the confusion. All the issue has been when do I need to spell it out and when do I need to write it in numeral? All right, so here's the last one. The room is 5 feet wide. The room is 5 feet wide. All right, so just as we have said earlier on, options A and B are actually saying the same thing. Both of them are affirmative sentences saying the same thing. Except this one difference we could notice. 5 is spelled out here while 5 is written as numeral here. So what then are we talking about? Very simple. All right, so in this case, option A is going to be wrong. Okay, in this case, option A is